Has your opinion of the Christian McCaffrey trade changed based on his monster performance against the Rams?
Well, first, let me say when I first heard rumors about that possibly Christian McCaffrey is available, I thought they were going to ask because I heard reports. I saw red reports that they were asking for multiple firsts, and I said no, don't do that. If you play like he did yesterday, he might be. Excuse my language. He might be worth multiple firsts. But immediately after the trade, I was kind of like, okay, I'm a little excited about this. The key is, can he stay healthy? And so has my opinion changed? Honestly, I've watched McCaffrey highlights, or when the 49ers played the Panthers, but I've never really watched McCaffrey in like full game like I watched yesterday. And he's better than I thought he was, man. Like he's got really good hands. And maybe I'm just stupid. I'm sure everybody knew how good he was. I thought he was good. I know he's like Pro Bowl caliber player, but I didn't realize how good he was.
That touchdown catch was crazy. I can't remember the last time I saw a running back go full extension and jump that high to catch a touchdown pass in the end zone. That was nice.
Yeah, and just even like the easy ones, there's just no drops. Like he's got hands, man. He's like his dad in that regard. So I'm really impressed with McCaffrey. If he can stay healthy, I think it was a great trade. And that's the thing about the 49ers. When you look at the draft picks they gave up, what are the odds that they landed anybody halfway as decent as Christian McCaffrey with those 4 draft picks based on how they draft? Especially if they're going after running back. Those could have all been wasted picks. So
yeah,
I don't know. If he stays healthy, I think it was a great trade. But that's the big if.
Yeah, it's interesting. I looked at it differently. I when they traded for him and I was down on it, I wasn't thinking like, is McCaffrey even that good? That's not the way I looked at it. He is that good, for sure. I mean, he was the only player on a Panthers team. He was the only weapon on that team for a long time and still produced and got hurt because he was, for a lot of reasons, but he got hurt as a product of being the focal point of so much defensive attention. So I felt like he was good. So it's so expensive at a position that's not necessarily a premium position and is violent and gets hurt a lot. So he's going to tantalize you with these great games, but then will he be there for 17 games this season? And if he's not, think about what's on the bench, all those picks, all that money. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden it's like, if it goes that road, it's really detrimental to the team, like D Ford. It's like you're not just any player who's not out there. You're like half the draft and a lot of 8% of the cap, and it's like, well, what were we thinking? You're a running back. Running backs get hurt. We don't keep. So that's all that stuff. But I can't just totally flip my position after one game against the Rams because my position was never that McCaffrey isn't as good as people say he is. No, he really is, and it's fun to watch him. I never got to watch Roger Craig. That was before my time. I can't compare him. I know Roger Craig's a lot bigger. But still, it's fun to watch a running back who can catch passes like that. There's not that many of them.
Yeah, no, he's exciting to watch. And, I think this is going to be up to Kyle Shanahan. And it's yet to be determined if it was a good trade. But I feel like it is at this point. But it's really up to Kyle Shanahan. Just like you said, he got injured a lot because he was the Panthers' entire offense. In this game against the Rams, Kyle Shanahan made him the entire offense. So it's going to be key that he, calls the right plays and the right amount of plays for Christian McCaffrey. I feel like if you're running up the gut, you could probably use a Jeff Wilson or Elijah Mitchell or somebody like that as opposed to Christian McCaffrey every time. So hopefully that's what happens.
Agree. Jonathan Chavez says, Kyle be showing Grant vids for practice. Love it.
Before practice. Yeah, that's what we need to do, guys.
That's funny. I'd love to know. I don't think Kyle would have to put it in front of him. I feel like some of them just might want to know what people are saying. I don't know. Neil says, I've noticed that that here on out, they don't travel much. That's true. I noticed it too because I'll be making these trips.
Yeah.
Mexico City, which is kind of it's not that far, really. Although they're going to be staying in Colorado Springs all week to adjust to the altitude. Last time they did that, it didn't work so well, but we'll see. Colorado Springs might be a little bit more entertaining than West Virginia. I've never been.
Are you going to Mexico City?
Yeah, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to Colorado Springs. I might just go straight to Mexico City.
Yeah.
Like, why would I go to Colorado Springs so I could – I mean, I'll miss a couple press conferences, but I could just go to Mexico City for like 5 nights. Might be fun. I haven't decided.
The schedule is actually the remaining schedule is not that tough. especially travel's not that tough. But my concern is because of that, when they get to the playoffs and they start playing really, really good teams, are they going to be prepared for that caliber?
When they get to the playoffs. Oh, wow.
Assuming they get to the playoffs. I think they will.
Oh,
If not a
wow.
bet.
Nah, I'm with you. Andrew says, fellow Bruin here. What do you think Kyle will change during the bye week? Our offense minus against the Rams stink. It's true, but he's got this momentum now, and he just made a statement with Christian McCaffrey. I wonder where he goes from here. Is it just this is the offense now? Like I'm just going to use Christian McCaffrey with no conscience and people can't tell me no? I get to do whatever I want? Or are they going to integrate all these ingredients into a recipe that is balanced?
He's got a lot of tools in his toolbox, man, and I'm hoping he uses all of them and keeps it balanced. Because if it's 27 touches per game, that scares me a little bit, and it becomes more predictable. Then you're the Rams and Cooper Kupp. That's basically what you're doing.
Mike says BA in the slot, chef's kiss, tremendous. I was suggesting that earlier, but yeah, absolutely. Get him some better matchups. Feature him in the passing game. He's so dependable, really good. Even though Kurt Warner has some constructive criticism for him, really for Leonard Hankerson. Offensive lineman trade Mitchell or Jawan. I don't think you're going to get a quality offensive lineman for a banged up running back at this point.
I think you need Jawan too, and I think you need Mitchell. Yeah, I think we're stuck with what we got unless there's somebody off the bench that can come in for.
I would put Brunskill at right tackle. I think he's better than McGlinchey.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. If he has another game like this, I mean, at some point Kyle's going to have to. Is McGlinchey just hobbled? Is he injured? Is that part of this? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. He's on the field. Either he's good enough to be on the field or he's not. Either he gives the Niners the best chance to win a right tackle or he doesn't. I say put Brunskill out there. Whatever the excuse is, put Brunskill out there.
Yeah.
And it feels like Kyle is so ruthless with every position, but McGlinchey gets 11 million chances. Why? Because Kyle wanted to draft him? What am I not understanding here? I mean, Kyle wanted to draft a bunch of running backs too, and then he gives up on him. But McGlinchey we need to see a little bit more from Mike. He's not as bad as people say. If you take away those 2 sacks he gives up every week, he's great.
I mean, it's kind of like Jimmy, man. We know what he is at this point. We've had him for a long time. He's kind of like a C plus lineman. Sometimes he does okay, and then sometimes he does really bad. And so I don't think there's any surprises with McGlinchey at this point. It isn't Burford and who's trading snaps with Burford right now? Is it Brunskill?
Yeah. It's like instead of having a right guard rotation, why don't you just play both of them and sit Mike McGlinchey?
And Burford played some tackle in college as well. So, I mean, you could look at that as an option, right?
Absolutely.